Hey guys, so we wanted to make this video where we take a look back at the last few street videos that we did. We had this idea to do some street content. Actually, Quinn came up with the idea. So kind of what was your motivation to do these kinds of videos?
Adoption. I think I wanted to learn more, get a good idea from what non-coiners were thinking. We get in this echo chamber on crypto Twitter, especially, where we just kind of seem to be repeating the same things to each other over and over again, retweeting the same news stories. And so it's been interesting, eye-opening for sure. Both encouraging and discouraging at the same time, I think. Encouraging because I like the fact that we're so early still. I've definitely realized that we're just, the tip of the beginning, and discouraging because, we're so early still. I think I thought more people would have been excited about Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah. So, my wife has been talking to me about this series because she's really enjoyed it. And she said that, I think the thing that we've kind of missed in this is that the research that we're doing by actually getting out and talking to people is extremely valuable. And we're doing basically market research that even some of these bigger companies, big wallets, whatever, they're not out there doing. And so, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that, we've encountered these issues that if other wallets were out there doing this market research, they would try to implement fixes. I think in one of the videos that we'll go over, we've had a couple issues where it's just downloading the wallet itself wasn't very easy or quick. It took 10 minutes, 12 minutes sometimes. Yeah. We had to turn off the video, turn back on. So,
we had some that were pretty quick and pretty easy. And then we had one that we'll talk about in a minute that was a really big problem. But ultimately, we kind of just have been, flying by the seat of our pants in this. Yeah. This isn't the kind of thing you can really prepare for. And so the first video that we went, this kind of behind the scenes stuff, the first video we went to do at SunTrust Park, during a Braves game, we talked to some fans and different things. And I didn't really know how we were going to send them the Bitcoin. I was like, you know what, we'll just send it on the Cash App. Well, then I realized to send Bitcoin on the Cash App, you have to be verified. We were like, okay, let's use Coinbase. And they were like, wait a minute, Coinbase, you have to do KYC before you can even open your account and receive Bitcoin. Yeah. So there were other choices that, you'd have to write down a seed phrase, which wasn't really convenient for people on the street, and things like that. So, ultimately we settled on a wallet called Blockchain Wallet because it was just easy. However, the iOS version, you can basically skip through everything except creating a PIN, a 4-digit PIN. But the Android version, as we'll see in a minute, had some problems. But we definitely learned a lot of other stuff. So let's check out. We got 3 clips for you guys today we're going to take a look at. So let's check out the first clip where Quinn talks to Ali at SunTrust Park.
So what do you know about Bitcoin then? What do you think it's mostly used for on a day-to-day basis? What have you heard?
Well, I know that it can't be traced back to you, and that people can use it for drugs and things like that. And so it's a little more skeptical, but I know that no one can really trace it, and that there's this whole world, and it's I don't know how to describe it, but.
So I thought, I guess I thought it was cool that Ali knew a little bit more, in the fact that it was non-traceable or anonymous technology, but still it came back to the whole dark web, used to buy drugs, kind of, repetitive thought that most people that have, we talked to said digital currency and dark web, and that's what we've gotten. So.
Yeah, at one time they said up to, I believe it was 40 to 50% of all Bitcoin transactions were used on the dark web. That was many, many years ago. Last year, it dropped down to as low as 1%, according to, some coin research or blockchain.
Is that just based off of exchange rates or, exchanges reporting volume and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's what it is. I mean, it's just less than 1% transactions period in Bitcoin are probably actually used to buy something, period. It's all pretty much trading, I would say. But, the thing that we kept running across was we kept seeing people saying that it's untraceable. And, we talked about before that on my channel that it was untraceable at one time, but now through chain analysis and things like that, you can actually trace Bitcoin, which negates the reason for people using it on the dark web and to buy things. Now, I'm sure some people using it don't even understand it can be traced. But I don't know what we have to do to kind of really make the next step away from the whole Silk Road crypto, story. Now, we know Ross is in jail. We know the whole story. That's not really what I'm referring to. I just mean in general, the fact that, it's not used to buy drugs anymore. It's not used to fund terrorism. Maybe
Right.
I'm sure there's some amount that is, but the vast majority of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is not used for that.
I think the younger generation, Morgan said it best in the video. In one of the videos, I think he said publicity, and that's going to be the key. So getting right. Go ahead.
Let's check out that clip real quick. Let's see what he says.
Awesome. Let's see what he says now.
What do you think it's going to take for Bitcoin to become a currency that people aren't scared of?
Publicity. And even though it's really public, it's out there, people know what it is. People, how do I say this? Let's say Donald Trump uses it. If he gets into it, he's using, all right, I think Bitcoin should be used all over the United States. I'm Donald Trump, yes, if he uses it.
You can even use it in China.
China, many walls, China. If you use it over there, if he uses it, you'd be like, okay, if Donald Trump can use it and not get scammed, and he's a billionaire, right? So people are going to believe that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the cool thing about what Morgan was saying was, celebrities, publicity, Donald Trump. If we can get the right people backing it, using it, showing that they're using it, I think that will help influence change down the line.
Yeah, so I did a video, I think on Monday, about Manny Pacquiao is launching his own token. Yeah. Manny Pacquiao is basically super mega celebrity in the Philippines. He's a senator there. He's in politics. He's a singer. He played in their whatever their equivalent to the NBA is, which is funny because I think he's terrible at basketball. Obviously, champion boxer. What's that?
I didn't know that he was a senator or any kind of political stuff.
Yeah. He's everything over there.
Okay.
And, he recently said he's launching his own token. And, my first thought was man, all these celebrities launching tokens, this isn't great. But in reality, Morgan really hit it there. We need more publicity, but not look, guys, the coverage that Bitcoin gets on CNBC, it's great. They talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Your average normal person doesn't watch it.
No, not yet. I mean, you're right.
I don't think your average, normal, everyday person watches CNBC, period. It's probably not a channel that most people – if you're in the business world, if you're into investing, playing for your retirement, maybe then you're watching it. I'm sure they have a large audience compared to a lot of other channels. But on the wide – your 23-year-old kid that's in college, he's not watching CNBC.
So then what would it be? Would it be targeting the right kind of people? Who are they watching? Instagrammers, streamers – Kim Kardashian, all those people? Is it just getting to those group of people to get them behind Bitcoin's movement?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Our definition of celebrity has really changed.
Sure.
And, I watch, you guys know I love TikTok. So I watch TikTok sometimes where it'll just be some random, either TikToker or Instagrammer or YouTuber, making an appearance at a mall. And the people there are dying. They're falling all over themselves to be able to just look at this person.
Yeah,
it's
nuts.
It's crazy. It's so weird,
We saw that same thing this weekend, didn't you? I mean, the lines for some of these shows were 8 hours wrapped around the building twice. And when we got to the front, we're asking what it was. Supernatural something panel. Okay.
Yeah, I was Supernatural. Is that show even still on? I've never even watched that show, and there are people camped out for hours to watch a panel from some of the people on there, So
yeah, Morgan definitely hit it on the head. It's going to be publicity, and it's going to be the right publicity too. So
yeah, definitely agree with that. So I think this next one is our most interesting clip because we're going to tell you guys a little behind the scenes thing that happened during this clip that unfortunately we really couldn't capture on the video. So let's go ahead and roll this one. This is Bruce from DragonCon. Could we help you download a wallet in less than 60 seconds and send you some?
Maybe.
So we're still here with Bruce, and we're trying to download a blockchain wallet, and it's gotten pretty complicated over here. And you said this is why you don't do cryptocurrency. What did you mean by that?
Well, I meant that most of these kinds of things involve an awful lot of logging in, setting up additional passwords, and other types of things. So, if you don't have the right app, if you don't have the right login, trying not to reuse logins where you already have 50 of them, it's just a big thing.
Okay, so that was Bruce. Now, obviously, we offered Bruce some Bitcoin, and he said maybe, and then he decided to take it. We also had another gentleman that Quinn interviewed that just said straight up no, I don't want any Bitcoin. No, thank you.
And he knew about it too, yeah.
he said he didn't need the money. So I don't know. Maybe he just looked at it strictly from that standpoint. But with Bruce, the interesting thing is we talked him into getting some Bitcoin. So we were going to send him some. I was going to send it to him from Coinbase. It's just easy. I can buy some on there and send it very fast to someone. So we had him download the blockchain wallet. Now, the interesting thing is, like I mentioned earlier, the iOS version, very easy to use. You can skip by everything. You don't have to verify the email or anything like that. But with the Android version, you did. So what you guys don't see here is that for 4 or 5 minutes, he sat there fooling with his phone. And we eventually turned the camera back on because we decided, like, this is really what we want to get, is we want people to understand really how complicated all of this is. Your average person, they don't want anything to do with it. It's got to be much more convenient.
What were the exact steps? I remember, because I know that he had to get an email confirmed. Then I know he had to create a PIN. I knew that after the email confirmed, he couldn't log in. Was that, I remember we hit like 3 problems with it.
Something about maybe he didn't receive the email. He tried going in through his email to verify it. But like I said, on the iOS version, there's a little hyperlink at the bottom you can click that says, skip past verification or do this later. So they can go back in later after they've already received the Bitcoin, and they can at that point verify. So the Android version didn't have that, and it really led to a lot of problems.
So what do you think our solution is to that problem? Because I know that the download time, getting people, especially where we're going to, we've been going to kind of lively places that are outside, usually lots of, excitement. People are going to a game, they're going to dinner, they're going to have fun. How do you get somebody to stop and take the 7 to 10 minutes it might take for us, for them to download the wallet and everything and send the coins?
They're not. People aren't going to. And I think that's why I've really been looking at paper wallets. But here's the thing. People hear paper wallets. They're like, just give out paper wallets. Okay. So if I go get a paper wallet and I load some money on it to the, I think it's bitaddress.org, I think is the one where most people go and make it at. It may be like the only official one that you can go make it at. I didn't find other ones. That's one that kept coming up. If you go to that website right now and you look at the instructions, your average person, I would even bet your average person in crypto could not even do it. And so really what you're doing is you're handing them a piece of paper that, okay, I've done my part. I've said, hey, I'm going to give you some free Bitcoin. I've handed it to them, but that thing is going to end up in the trash, and that's not doing anybody any good. So I'm trying to come up with more of a new system for this that, maybe we haven't seen before, kind of maybe what Open Dime is doing. I'm not 100% sure. They're kind of like little USBs loaded with Bitcoin and stuff like that. I'm thinking more of like the BitBoy Bitcoin voucher, and it's like actually something that's a voucher that they can use really easy, to load on a wallet. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it yet, but this is kind of my idea. And I'm hoping by the time we get to the next video that we're going to do, which, I'm sure will be sometime next week, that we will be able to get that going.
I like it for sure. It's definitely going to be, it's something that's going to have to capture their attention long term. Like you said, the paper wallet's going to end up in the trash on the way home or before you even get home. Something that can, have them thinking about it a week, a month, a year from now, where they're like, hey, what's my Bitcoin worth? Or what's, am I in a giveaway for some Bitcoin or a voucher, whatever it is, so.
Well, if we hand people a brochure with information about Bitcoin, they're going to throw it away.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
we give them money and it's too complicated for them to get it, they're going to throw it away. So we have to find a way to create something that we're going to be able to give people Bitcoin, or maybe even other cryptocurrencies at different points.
Sure.
And they're going to actually do it. So I don't know. We're also thinking about kind of a lottery system, right?
Well, it's, that's the one idea I had is my thinking is the way to make them care and not only care, but go through the steps and put in the effort is to make the lottery big enough. If you could give away 1 Bitcoin and let's say we want to register 5,000 wallets over the next 50 weeks, 1,000 or 100 wallets a week, it's pretty ambitious, but it's not impossible. And out of those 5,000 people, 1 person is going to get a Bitcoin. So along the way, it's kind of incentivizing everybody to not only do the moment's work, but keep up with it after the fact, If maybe that Bitcoin goes up to 10, 20, 30, 40, who knows what it's at. And then, so, yeah.
Yeah. Right now, even $10,000 where it's at would be huge for most people. So
absolutely. Life-changing.
So you guys let us know down below in the comments, what do you want to see out of this series? We're going to continue doing it. Before long, we're going to be launching out on kind of a tour. We haven't 100% decided on the name of the tour yet. We're going to be going and doing these videos in other cities. We got one planned in Philadelphia coming up soon, and we've got a whole map of cities we're going to be going to. So we might be coming to one near you, and so you guys make sure to look out for details on that. So you got anything else you want to say, Quinn?
No, guys. If just your followers, if you have any questions, continued, ideas, there were a couple great comments for future ideas, future questions. So keep them coming for sure. Yeah, that's about it. I appreciate all the constructive criticism.
Yeah, and you guys make sure to go follow Quinn on his YouTube channel, Mid-Earth Crypto. Link will be down below in the video description. So that's all we got for today. BitBoy out.